Yo, what's the deal? It's your boy Noise, and we are in the building. We are live. We are talking that shit. I'm back a little later than usual. You know, had to run some shit, but it's all good. We are back. Michael Benson actually just put out on Twitter. This is all based off of an interview he had. Bud Crawford had just did. Shout out to y'all if y'all before y'all go on. If y'all can like, subscribe, hit the notification button, please. It would be appreciated. But my man Boots, why can't I just post this? My man Boots came out and pretty much said what everybody knows already. He wants the fight with Canelo Alvarez, and he states it would do more for his legacy and his bank. Let's take the legacy out of the situation at this point. Let's be honest with you. It's about the money. It's really about the money, man. Period. And I get it. And I've been saying this for the longest. I'm like, yo, why would you take a risk with a Boots who is very, very dangerous, who can possibly beat you, the best fighter at 147 pounds right now? And, whatever. Hold on one second. My man Secrets is read chats, don't engage. All right, I'm down to engage. I'm always down to engage. Come on, let's talk about this. Okay, whatever he said. Can't debate the boxing. All right, whatever this guy's talking about. But anyways, so it's kind of funny because, and just bringing this up real quick because I think it's kind of a weird situation, right? That I don't know if I've ever actually witnessed this in boxing where two premier fighters, two pound for pound greats, two Hall of Famers, two first ballot Hall of Famers are kind of under the same scrutiny that one of them are. So Canelo Alvarez, of course, a lot of people are clamoring to see him versus David Benavidez, right? And they're saying he's ducking him. He won't fight Benavidez, blah, blah, blah. Canelo says he wants X amount of money in order to take the fight, right? And on the flip side, Crawford is saying pretty much he doesn't want to take the risk. It's not financially beneficial towards him, which is kind of the same shit. And they're not going to pay him what he's going to want for the fight. And it's kind of weird because they're both going through the same thing. Canelo clearly is getting more scrutiny in regards to the situation. Like his fight is a lot bigger, but Canelo's a bigger name than Crawford, so I get it. But it's kind of ironic that they're both being asked the same question and given the same answer. Now, Canelo doesn't necessarily, I don't know how interested he's in to fight Bud Crawford. He's came out and said he doesn't want to fight Crawford simply because he feels that he's not going to get credit for beating Terrence Crawford, which is kind of crazy. I mean, and I kind of agree. I do agree because Terrence going up a couple weight classes isn't a win-win situation. You're going to get the bag, and if you lose, nobody's going to really critique you for losing that fight. So I get Canelo's whole thing. I think if Canelo does beat him, although it's going to be a big fight, I don't think people are going to give him the credit because he's up, quote unquote, fighting in a bigger division than Canelo. So it's kind of crazy to me to that they're both kind of going through this. Now, the likelihood of this fight, I don't know. I mean, I do believe, for some strange reason, I do believe this fight is a strong possibility. I think it's a better possibility than Benavidez, and I'm going to tell you why I believe it's bigger. It's a more of a possibility. I think that Benavidez is getting very impatient to try to get this fight, right? Nobody's offered the money that Canelo wants in order to make the fight happen, right? But Crawford is moving a little smarter. He's not taking the bigger risk. He's not going to take a Boots because he doesn't want to spoil the opportunity. But on the flip side, David Benavidez is moved up to a 175 and is looking to get the winner of Bivol versus Benavidez. Now, that's a big risk. I don't believe that Benavidez can beat Bivol or Benavidez. And knowing the fact that if he loses that fight, Canelo's going to have an excuse to really sidestep him and say, no, I'm not going to take this fight. His stock is down. I'd rather go fight Bivol or Benavidez. And I think that's what that's what Benavidez is doing. It's going to kind of benefit Canelo to sidestep him. On the flip side, Crawford's like, I'm not gonna fight Bud. I'm not gonna fight Boots, because if I lose to Boots, pretty much what's gonna end up happening is I'm not gonna get the Canelo fight. It's a fact. He's not. So he's not gonna take the risk. So I do believe that Canelo is Crawford is moving a little smarter, trying to get it. And I do believe that he believes that it's a very strong possibility, especially financially. He has, my man Turkish Ali. I can't even say his goddamn name. I'm sorry. I apologize to the Prince. But he definitely got the financial backing to make it happen. Now, how much money it's going to take for Canelo to do it is the question. But is the money there? I definitely believe. You know what I mean? So to me, I think it's going to come down to that. I think Canelo is going to, you got to think about it too. Canelo won at 168. I mean, the fight that people do want to see is Benavidez, but they also do want to see Terence Crawford. There is a lot of people that believe that Terence Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez at 168, and I think that's a growing notion at this point. And now that Terence Crawford is about to fight, I think next week or something, a couple weeks from now, let's say he has an impressive performance, he went up to 154 and looks dominant. All of a sudden now we're starting to say, hey, listen, trains building. So I think Terence Crawford is really preparing himself for a run at the biggest bag of his career, and all eyes are on him. And regardless if he's going to fight him next or the next fighter or not, it's gaining him a lot of notoriety because people want to see Canelo, and it's attaching his name. So I think Bud is moving extremely smart in this situation, and I don't think he's going to take many risks. I think he will try to unify at 154 if he can't get Canelo, but I think he's not going to take the huge risk. And I don't think fighting a Fundora is a huge risk for Bud. I can't really say I've seen this dude he's about to fight right now, but again, he's preparing himself, and he looks stronger. He looks bigger. Like, he legit looks bigger right now. Like, I was watching the interview, I was like, damn, he looks pretty big. You know what I mean? So, it's definitely something that I believe is a bigger possibility in regards to it happening over the Benavidez. And I think it's because of the way he's moving. Benavidez is trying to, he's trying to act like he doesn't need Canelo, but he does need Canelo. He's like, I'll just go to 175. And his last fight, stock kind of went down. He didn't look too good. To be honest with you, he kind of looked like a weight bully at 168. So, I don't think this fight is off the table, especially if Bud's still talking about it. Bud really does believe that he can make it happen. I don't know the conversations that are going to be had behind the scenes. I know Canelo was ready to make an announcement sometime in the next couple of weeks to his fight in September, which apparently he's supposed to fight either Eubanks Jr. I actually seen Edgar Berlanga making a post saying that this will be the first time on his first pay-per-view he's going to crack 1 million buys, which I thought was absolutely insane for him to even say that, due to the fact that it's because of Canelo. The thing's going to sell. It's not going to be Berlanga. But I think he's trying to pitch the whole Puerto Rico versus Mexico thing and try to use the history of that rivalry to sell the fight, which I just don't believe Puerto Rico's behind Edgar Berlanga in regards to making that fight happen. It's just something that I don't believe is true. But there's been a lot of people making posts. The only person that hasn't made a post, which the third person on that list was Charlo. I mean, they just stripped Charlo, and I don't know what's going on with Charlo. He just got arrested. He got stripped. So I think it's really down to Eubanks Jr. and Edgar Berlanga, whoever decides to take what Canelo's offering at this point. I'd probably rather see Eubanks Jr. than Berlanga at this point. But you know what? Why not Berlanga? Let Berlanga get his bag and get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? I don't know who this guy is. He keeps going in the chat. This guy talking about Tank beating Floyd. Wow. Guys, again, there's a reason Floyd isn't fighting professionally anymore, man. Age is undefeated. That's what I'm going to say. But anyways, I'm going to try to pull up this interview real quick that I saw Bud talking. And I thought it was a pretty dope interview, like, to be honest with you. Like, but it's something that you know, it is. I don't know. It's been pretty much common knowledge for a long time that Bud was not going to, you know, he was not gonna, like he really wants to. Everything that's on there. I'm trying to look right now. Let me see if I can find this interview. Lomachenko, Duck Tank, and Shakur. Tim Bradley talking that. So we pull this up. There's a lot of talks about that, man. Like everybody's talking about the Shakur fight. Well, actually, Tank. Let me see what else we got here. I'm waiting for this. How do you say it? I thought it said Ryder fight. Ryder card. That card is fire, man. I'm really looking forward to that fight in LA. I want to see what Bud does. People are hyping up his opponent right now, saying he's really dangerous. So I'm definitely um, looking forward to seeing Crawford's next performance, and it's kind of an audition for Canelo in a sense. Him going up a weight, and now he's closed the gap, and then he's got an angle with making that fight happen, which is you fought the smaller Charlo at this weight. Why won't you fight me? And I think that's where he's going to be coming for Canelo with that angle. Basically, yo, bro, like the facts are you fought a smaller man at 154, made him come 168. What's the difference between me? And I think that's where he's going to try to corner Canelo into making this fight happen. Canelo took him. He didn't really think about or use that excuse that nobody's going to give him credit for beating Charlo. I think people have given him credit. In fact, they've critiqued Charlo for not being aggressive or even being scared in the fight. So I think he's going to definitely, if he wins this fight, use that angle on Canelo to where, he's basically going to say like, look, you already fought at this weight class, boss. So I think we're going to have a situation like that. I think he's definitely playing that. Um, he's going to be shooting for that angle, Bud Crawford. Trying to find this damn card, this interview real quick. And we could talk about that. Bud Crawford, here we go. I forgot what outlet actually played it, but I just saw it last night and this morning. Who didn't want to negotiate with Bud. So hold on, this is
Well, Terrence Crawford was undisputed championship.
Hold on, my Bluetooth is not on. Me plays through the blue. Oh shit! I just realized that I never turned on my freaking thing. Oh wow, that sucks. I guess my audio now is going through. Previous audio input device was plugged back in. Audio settings are updated quality. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I hope you guys can hear me now. I did not realize that. Hold on, let me just put this on. Let me see if I can find. So let me see the tennis ball. I mean, you can't. I mean, he puts up a very good argument in regards to. Um, he puts up a really good argument, and it's true. The only difference I'll say is this: is the bag is a lot bigger. The risk is a lot greater for him to fight Canelo. And if he doesn't beat Boots, he's going to lose on a huge financial gain. So everything that Timothy Bradley said made sense, except for the fact that the bag at the end of the day is completely different. If he were to go and take that risk, and lose to Boots, that fight is off the table for Bud. Bud is 36, going to 37 years old. He's trying to, and this is what he said. He said it in my legacy. Clearly, Canelo's a Hall of Famer. Boots is not yet. And my bank account. That's the key word in what Brett Crawford was saying. It's his bank account. The bank account is going to look a lot greater for him. It's going to look a lot greater. You know what I mean? So I definitely get where Bud is coming from. If he were to lose to Boots, which is a possibility, Boots, like Tim Bradley said, can switch. He can fight both southpaw and orthodox. He can punch. He can jab. He knows how to cut the ring. He is a very offensively talented fighter. He's a very good fighter. It's not a walkthrough. It would be the best person he has fought at 147 pounds, clearly, in my opinion. And that is including Errol Spence, just being honest. I feel like I get it. And that's why I'm not critiquing Bud in this situation. But Timothy Bradley's assessment is 100% accurate. Why aren't people clamoring or giving him the same criticism? The only pass I give him, and this honestly is because I get it financially. Fighting Canelo is very attractive, especially someone as gifted and as talented as Bud, who could command more because of what he's accomplished or who he is. If Bud Crawford were to be able to pull off and beat Canelo Alvarez, let's just say it's a close fight, he beats Canelo, do you understand how much the rematch would be? How many more people would want to see that? He understands there's not a lot of tread left on his tires. You know, Bud has definitely put in a Hall of Fame career, but who the hell wants to fight into their 40s? I think Bud is looking to cash out, and it makes total sense. That's why I can't critique him in that situation, because at the end of the day, and people may say, oh, well, listen, who cares? You're risking your life. If I'm going to risk my life, right, I'm going to risk it to gain some type of financial freedom that I've never, ever got ever. Okay, and fighting Canelo Alvarez is probably going to get him upwards of 30 to 40 million guaranteed. It's a big fight. We all know it's a big fight. Canelo knows it's a big fight. Okay, so if Bud, what would Bud get fighting Boots Ennis? Let's be honest. Would it even be anywhere near what he would get to fight Canelo? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It would not be nowhere near what he would be getting, what he would receive to fight Canelo. So, listen, my hat's off to Bud. I can't critique him for not fighting him, but it is a good argument Timothy Bradley makes, because, listen, he's keeping it real. Like, you got to give him the criticism, but at the same time, you can't not mention the financial gain he would get by fighting Saul Canelo Alvarez, as opposed to Boots Ennis. That is a big bag. People are lined up. Edgar Berlanga, all these guys are sitting there looking to cash that ticket to get to that fight, just to make that bag. So miss me with the BS, with the whole he's ducking. I don't think Crawford is necessarily ducking, but he's like, listen, I have to weigh the risk over the reward, and the risk and the reward fighting Boots Ennis isn't as appealing as saying, you know what, let me go to 154, beat this guy who's not Boots Ennis, and try to force Canelo to fight me and make it lucrative. And I think that's the play. I think this is somebody that has lost a lot of money throughout the years. And Bud Crawford fighting at top rank and never necessarily becoming the star that he should have been, because he was tied into not getting the big fights or politics in boxing. And now he's looking to really, really cash out. Like, what would you do? Oh, my son is crying over here. I don't know why he's crying. Would this be a financial gain for both fighters or just Crawford? Because Canelo has lots of endorsements, correct? It would be the bigger gain for Bud simply because Canelo, and he just got 40 million for Munguia. Crawford has never seen that. Canelo's getting 40 million to fight whoever the hell he wants. Like he's getting money. It would, I mean, Canelo's average fight is more than Bud's big fight. I mean, I think that's pretty freaking accurate to say. And that's just being real. Hype man said, would you be a financial gain for? No, it would be for both, but Canelo is seeing that money. Canelo's up in the hundreds of millions right now. Bud isn't. So this is more of a gain for him. Canelo can be picky because he's made money. When you're making 40 million versus Munguia, what do you think he's gonna make versus Berlanga? And a lot of this is just on the back end of just make sure we're in play if you do fight Benavidez or Crawford because we want to make that money. He's made way more money than Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford is not even scratched nowhere near what Canelo has made. That's the facts. That is the facts, man. So, it's definitely a financial gain for both, but Canelo can go grab a Berlanga and get upwards of 35 to 40 million. Canelo doesn't fight on regular TV, bro. Not to mention his guarantees are crazy. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a big opportunity for Tank, and Tank cannot risk not messing this up by taking a risk with Boots. And I think Boots knows it too. I think Boots' best chance is to just go get them belts, unify, and then jump up to 154. Stop worrying about him and just keep worrying about his name going up. Because at the end of the day, let's just say Bud is able to go up to 168, beat Canelo, right? And decides, let me come back down to 154, 160. Maybe then you can force a fight, and it'll be a bigger financial gain for you because your name would be bigger, and Terence Crawford would be on top of the world beating Canelo Alvarez. And I think that's something that Boots needs to plan for. He has to understand the situation. Canelo is Canelo. There is nothing like Canelo in boxing in terms of money. The closest thing, if you're a heavyweight like a Tyson Fury or whatever, or Joshua, but it's Gervonta Davis at 140. And he's trying to get a guarantee for it and he can't get it. So you got to really think about that right now in regards to how Bud is moving. It's smart, but he is going to receive the criticism. He should be receiving more criticism, to be honest with you, but I totally understand why this is how it is at this point. I don't know. Anybody want to give their opinion? Call up 470-326-6329. My man Hype Man, shout out to you. But yeah, that's how we doing. That's how we looking right now. Let's see what else. People are talking about the what's his name? Gervonta Lomachenko situation. People are saying Lomachenko ducked Shakur and Gervonta Davis. You know what's crazy? I don't believe Lomachenko ducked him. Everybody's saying he ducked him. I'd be honest with you. I feel like Lomachenko isn't really motivated by money like that. I feel like he wanted to fight. I feel like the negotiations and the back and forth is something that he did not, want to engage in. That's a little tiring. He just wants to fight. And I think that's what kind of turned him off. Random, Jake Paul called out Alex Pereira because he knows Alex is on the UFC contract. Jake doesn't really want that smoke. Alex Pereira would KO that boy in less than 2 rounds. I don't think that Dana is going to allow Alex to take the fight. He's just not. Jake keeps knocking out these UFC fighters or washed up UFC fighters or non-boxers. We all get it. I was talking, my boy Gerald feels like he's disrespecting the sport of boxing. And it's a weird situation. I feel like Jake is, and this is my opinion, I feel like Jake has put a light on boxing, has put other boxers on his cards. He is a draw, whether you like him or not. We had this debate: is he a draw? Is he not? Jake did lose to a boxer, Tommy Fury, but Tommy Fury's, and that's why Jake is not fighting boxers. like Jake is not gonna fight fucking Usyk at cruiserweight. He's just not. He'll get destroyed. It just doesn't make any sense. But he wants to continue to make money in his sport. And you're talking about a guy that just started boxing, I don't know, like 4 years ago, maybe less than that. I don't know. And at the end of the day, bro, he's not on the level of those guys. But you have to give him credit, Jake Paul, for actually being able to go in there and knock these fighters out, like literally fighters, even though they're fighting something completely different that they're not used to. Jake has been able to knock these fighters out. Granted, it's a completely different science. It's you kind of handicap with some of these guys, but at the end of the day, they are fighters. So you have to give Jake some type of credit, even though when he fought Mike Perry, he looked like he was like 30, 40 pounds heavier than Mike Perry. But I feel like there's a big divide. People do want to see Jake lose. And honestly, that's what I was saying yesterday. I was trying to get off my chest yesterday. I said, watching that Mike Perry fight, and Mike Perry's a bare knuckle guy. It's not really boxing. These guys aren't trained like that. Well, he wasn't. You could tell he's kind of big, straightforward, and I'll tell you this: he has the heart of a lion, right? But watching that fight and watching how Mike was able to get off certain shots on him and not really having the understanding of cutting a ring or getting inside and just not knowing the logistics of true boxing, it was impressive. And it made me look like Mike Tyson is 58 years old. He's still a boxer, although he's 58 years old. And I was like, if Jake were to fight how he fought Mike Perry against Mike Tyson, I can see Mike Tyson knocking him out because Mike can still punch. Mike understands angles. And it's just going to take a short time for him to get inside. I feel like the longer the fight goes for Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, the better chance he has. But Mike Tyson's best chance is to jump on him and put the pressure on him because I don't think Mike at that age can go 6 rounds, 7 rounds at a good pace. So I think, in my opinion, after watching the Mike Perry fight, I feel like Mike can actually win this fight. You know what I mean? WBA president proposed Jake Paul was supposed to say, bro, wow, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Neither fighter deserves a title fight. Chavez Jr. looked horrible his last fight. He looked horrible. This is the one thing I hate about boxing. Championships are supposed to be earned. It's supposed to be prestigious. They're supposed to be something that people clamor to get in their lives. And just proposing a title fight, just to propose it, just to get Jake Paul a belt, it reminds me like the WWE stuff. It kind of takes away, and this is where I agree with Gerald. It's disrespectful to the sport for the people that are actually in the trenches fighting, in the trenches trying to get a name for themselves. And you're just gonna make up a belt and propose a belt just to make this fight more appealing. Nobody wants to see Chavez Jr. versus Jake Paul. Nobody takes Chavez Jr. serious at this point. Nobody does. You know what I mean? Chavez Jr., his biggest thing going for him is his name. Just being honest. So like, his dedication has always been questioned. The fact that people feel like his name is pretty much what's getting him these fights. It's the facts. Your father's legacy, your father's hard work is what's getting you these opportunities. Nobody wants to see Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Nobody. It's just going to be Jake Paul beating him, right? And people saying that Jake Paul actually beat a boxer. A boxer that's not dedicated, doesn't care about his craft or any of that. And that's why I'm kind of like, bro, like, I'm not trying to hear that shit, bro. And it's very disrespectful for the Chavez name, in my opinion. I personally do not want to see that fight. I got a lot of respect for Julio Cesar Chavez. And the fact that his son is going in there and just doing what he's doing and not taking it serious. Chavez, and again, I'm old enough to understand what Chavez meant to boxing and seeing him out like with an amazing record and getting older and still fighting, giving his all. I mean, this is a legend. And then you look at the polar opposite of his son. He's not a Hall of Famer, someone that a lot of people feel is gifted. I mean, that's been gifted these opportunities because of his father's name. And it's disrespectful. It is. That's something I'd rather watch Chavez fight, not Chavez, Jake Paul fight another MMA guy. I'm just being honest. What up, Chance? What's popping? What up? What he said? Am I gonna cover Suge's boxing event? I've been thinking about it. I've been told to do it. I'm not gonna front like it's not really exciting for me. Like I like to I'm not really big on celebrity boxing, right? Somebody said, well, you watch Jake Paul. Yeah, it's true. I actually watched, I was there really to watch Bandit Serrano. But this is that's a good question. This is the reason I don't want to cover the shoot event. I don't really want anything to do with battle rap though. It gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Also, it's not real boxing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this I just watched a video. Shout out to my guy Dot. Living in this fantasy boxing world, a boxing battle rap world, right? Where he gets in an altercation with somebody, and in the video, he's fighting a fair one or whatever, and a guy ends up pulling a gun on him. I don't want to be advertising shit like that. I just don't want to be speaking on that. So it just leaves me in a bad place. But I may cover it, but to me, it's a big joke. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's guys that are at this point not seeing the financials that they've been missing out on, or they're not there anymore, and it's kind of like a desperation time for a lot of these guys, and I feel bad for them. So, how would I cover this? And I got to look at the angle. How would I cover this battle rap boxing event without speaking on the fact of why this card is actually going down? I don't believe this card is going down because it's an organic card. I believe it's because these guys are looking for ways at this point to generate income because they're not getting what they once were getting. So, to be honest with you, I may cover it. I'm like 50-50 on it. I'm thinking of doing a blog on it this weekend. But that's kind of my dilemma on it. I don't want to support something and not be able to speak on everything, or not. I can't speak on it, to be honest, but I would have to speak on the totality and the reason of this event. I don't believe it's an organic event, to be honest with you. I feel like these guys aren't getting booked and they're looking for any opportunity to get some money. To be honest. So, oh shit. So, yo, my fault. So, sorry about that. I kicked out my visual. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to cover it, but I might. Was Edgar and Caleb ever supposed to set up a fight, or are they just barking at each other? I think Edgar was called out by Caleb because Caleb feels like, a lot of people feel like that Edgar's not that good, and you got to earn your stripes. So I don't think Edgar wants to fight, but I think Caleb definitely wants to fight, and Edgar doesn't want it for good reasons. He's trying to land that bag, to be honest with you. No, I'm not excited for that. Nope. He said, Dark Cloud said, battle rap is just toxic as hell, and I walked away from that community 4 years ago and never looked back. And Dark Cloud, I mean, I'm not mad at you. But if you really look at why this event is taking place, it's really to try to generate some type of income for these guys. And it's a sad day, in my opinion, in battle rap when these guys actually are doing this. And again, hopefully it works for them the first time, but I just don't see it No, I didn't see the Nate Diaz. I don't see it going to be too. I mean, it could be successful. I just don't feel like it's going to last like that. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Maybe this is a angle. I think it's going to be really bad fighting. I think the best match is probably going to be 40 bars and Yoshi for some strange reason. But I just don't feel like it's something I really want to sit there and watch. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a pay-per-view, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but we're definitely gonna see. Any thoughts on caffeine ending? It seems like the writing was on the wall. Yeah, it's been on the wall. People chose to ignore it. It's unfortunate for caffeine. You know, but you reap what you sow. That's what I can say in regards to that. But you know, those guys will be fine. They got money. You know what I mean? You know, you guys want to talk over your battle. I don't want to talk that shit. I think it's pay per view. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is pay per view. Well, you know, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that goes. Any thoughts on game? I mean, damn. I think you know what. I think the footage may go a little viral in the beginning. But we're definitely gonna see how serious these guys take this this boxing shit. The boxing is definitely something that is underappreciated. I think people think that anybody can just get on there and put on gloves, throw a couple bits, and think they can make this happen. So you know what? I think I may cover it. I am actually going to be at the Gilly event. Shout out to my man Okoye. August 24th. I'm helping co-promote, or I'm helping promote that event. Not co-promote, but helping promote it. Getting a while, I'll be hosting it. I'll be out there in Philly for that. And I'm looking forward to that, seeing Chris Colbert, the Grandy twins. So, you know, that's real boxing. I'll be in the building at the Met. Make sure y'all get your tickets. Y'all want to come mess with me. Things of that. I'm just joining out. Do you got Crawford or Canelo? I got Canelo. I got Canelo winning by stoppage. I just feel like Canelo's big. He's tough. I don't think Bud has ever seen anything like that. And the weight, I think, is a big difference. I think Canelo can really punch. But I think it'll be a good chess match. If Bud can withstand Canelo's power, because Canelo is going to be going forward, I think it'll be a very, very good fight. I just got Canelo, for some reason, I just got Canelo hurting him in the fight. But we're going to see. He's definitely going to get his chin tested. Both of them, I think, are going to get their chin tested, to be honest. But I've seen Canelo get hit by big shots, and Canelo has the best chin in boxing. Might have the best chin in all of boxing history. So I'm looking forward to if that fight were to possibly happen. But it's going to come down to how much money they're going to be willing to pay Canelo Alvarez at that point. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I watch all the Canelo fights, so big Canelo fan. I'm a huge Canelo fan. I like Bud Crawford too, but you know, it's gonna be a huge event. I think it will be. I think it will be if it does go down. But it's gonna take a lot to get Canelo to take that fight. They're gonna have to pay a lot of money. Bud is not nowhere near Canelo's tax bracket, so you know. But I think it does happen, but it's all going to be pending on how Bud Crawford looks at his next at the Rodea Cup, whatever the hell that shit is, how he looks at that. But I think once we see that, we're probably going to see Bud go out there. If Bud knocks this guy out, the hype is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, no, Munguia is a good fighter. I like Munguia a lot. But again, think about it. It took them $40 million to get that fight to happen. What do you think it's going to take for them to guarantee for him to fight Bud Crawford? It's going to take a lot of money, man. So, you know, the Saudi prince is trying to make that happen. He's definitely team Crawford. He also tried to get the Boots fight to happen. Bud is not trying to hear that shit, to be honest with you. And Boots is like, yo, I'm fighting Canelo, and I'm not taking the risk. And he is very smart by doing that. So, you know, that's where we're gonna go with that. But you know, whatever. On that note, man, I'm about to get up out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. More likely 10:15, 10:30. It's your boy, and we are out.